Good evening, many thanks for joining us and welcome to CoreTV News at 7 and of course the beginning of the report as well. But first, let's look at our news bulletin, what we have for you this evening. The Ondo State House of Assembly has impeached Ali Olanusi, the Deputy Governor. 24 out of the 26 lawmakers endorsed the impeachment motive moved by Henry Akinshoyinu, the Majority Leader, and seconded by Oyebo Oladeton, Deputy Majority Leader. The House had earlier directed Olasehinde Kumuyi, Chief Judge of the State, to set up a pro-panel that is to investigate 7 impeachment offences leveled against Olanusi. Kumuyi complied with the directive by setting up a 7-man panel on Friday, chaired by Olatunji Adeniyon. The panel submitted its report to the House earlier today. Jumoke Akindele, Speaker of the Assembly, adopted the motion, declaring that Olanusi had been impeached and removed from office. She directed him to hand over the properties of government within his possession to the permanent secretary in his former office. Olanusi fell out with the Mimiko after defecting to the All Progressives Congress from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, 2 days before the 2015 presidential election, which was won by a candidate of his new party, Muhammadu Buhari. He told his supporters that the lack of equity in the PDP necessitated his decision to dump the party. Olanusi was a running mate of Mimiko at the platform of the Labour Party, LP, in 2007 and became Deputy Governor in 2009 after the Court of Appeal declared Mimiko winner of the 2007 governorship election in the state. He has been deputy since 2009 after the pair won the election in 2014. They both defected to the PDP in October 2014 from the Labour Party, although Olanusi did not favour the defection. Olanusi becomes next in line to Sunday Oyebuchi, the immediate past Deputy Governor of Enugu State, who was impeached on August 26, 2014 after falling out with Sullivan Chime, Governor of the state. And now, following the impeachment of the Ondo State Deputy Governor Ali Olanusi by 25 out of the 26 members of the State House of Assembly, State Governor Olusegun Mimiko has nominated State Commissioner for Agriculture Lasisi Oluboyo as the new Deputy Governor. Oluboyo, the Commissioner for Agriculture, who is to replace Olanusi, who was impeached by the Ondo State House of Assembly earlier Monday. Now, in Imo State, the Governor, Rochas Okorocha, has been declared winner of the supplementary governorship election held on Saturday. Returning officer Oye Ibidapobe, while declaring the result, says the governor and all Progressive Congress candidate polled the highest number of lawful votes cast.
Rochas E. Anayo Okorocha of APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law and scored the highest number of votes, is hereby declared the winner and returned elected. Signed, Oye Ibidapobe, 26 April 2015. Thank you very much.
Well, staying with election matters, Senator Hope Uzodinma, representing Imo West, and his sister were arrested for alleged electoral malpractices at Omuma, Oru East local government area of Imo State, by a combined team of policemen and soldiers. The senator, who was later released on self-recognition, allegedly mobilized hoodlums who set bonfires on the road to prevent the security men from taking away the suspects. It took a reinforcement of soldiers and men of the Department of State Security to rescue the policemen and take the suspects to the police headquarters in Owerri, where they were detained. Also, the Deputy Inspector General of Police, Job Doma, arrested 25 officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Imo State for alleged thumbprinting of ballot papers during the election rerun exercise on Saturday. Also arrested were fake INEC officials who posed as returning officers at the Coalition Center. When contacted, State Police Public Relations Officer Andrew Ewenem said he had yet to be briefed on the incident. And staying with the Saturday elections, Darius Ishaku of the People's Democratic Party has won the Taraba supplementary governorship election held on Saturday. Returning officer Kiari Mohammed, who announced the result on Sunday in Jalingo, said Ishaku scored 369,318 votes to emerge victorious. He said Senator Aisha Alasan of the All Progressives Congress came second with 275,984 votes, while Chief David Kente of the Social Democratic Party SDP polled 29,966 votes. The returning officer said there were 1,461,645 total registered voters in the state, of which 787,516 were accredited for the election. Mohammed said that the total valid votes cast were 681,000, while the total votes rejected was 174,131. It will be recalled that the April 11 governorship election was declared inconclusive by the Independent National Electoral Commission due to widespread irregularities. INEC on April 25 conducted supplementary elections in 218 polling units in 10 local government areas of the state. In the meantime, the All Progressives Congress governorship candidate in the just concluded governorship election in Taraba State, Aisha Alasan, has rejected the results of the poll as announced by INEC. Addressing a press conference in Jalingo shortly after the announcement of the result, which she described as daylight robbery, and said that the party would challenge the results of the elections in the tribunals. She contended that the results accredited to Wukari, Dunga, Takum, Sardauna, Zingo, Yoru, Kul, and some parts of Usa, Karim Lamido, Bali, Ardo, Kola, and Lao local government areas were not acceptable as they did not reflect the true results of the election in Taraba. Alasan said all the complaints on the irregularities and abuse of the electoral election guidelines were promptly reported to INEC, but no action was taken. INEC returning officer for Taraba, Kiari Mohammed, who declared the results on Sunday in Jalingo, said Ishaku scored 369,318 votes to emerge victorious. Staying with politics, the All Progressives Congress has called on President Goodluck Jonathan to rein in government officials whose actions may cause problems for the incoming Muhammadu Buhari administration. It also warned against what it terms last-minute looting of the nation's resources, hurried recruitment into the public service, and rushed privatization of key financial institutions. The All Progressives Congress, APC, gave these warnings in a statement by its National Publicity Secretary, Lai Mohammed. And the party says, apart from the instances of such cases that had been reported by the media, it has been inundated with calls and messages by concerned Nigerians, alerting it to the unscrupulous actions of some Jonathan administration officials. He said while the Jonathan administration remains in office till midnight of May 28th and governance in the country will not stop because a new president has been elected, it is incumbent upon the ongoing administration not to create any more problems for the incoming government that it had already done, or to the new government's hands through some suspicious actions. APC said while it is true that the incoming Buhari administration will not get itself bogged down by an endless probe of the activities of the Jonathan administration, all actions taken since the result of the May 28 presidential election was announced may come under the searchlight. Well, at this point, we'll go for a very quick break. Do not go away. Still, CoreTV News at 7. We'll come back with more stories. Stay with us.
It is often said that the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. But what about the things in life that actually inspire us to believe? Like the things that drive us, the things that move us, and even the things that remind us that the sky really isn't our limit. Because when we are inspired, We are led to future greatness. But first, we just have to believe.
One day I want to build Nigeria's first aeroplane.
I know. One day you'll make us proud.
Rich and creamy pig, extra fortified with 28 vitamins and minerals. Here's to 60 years of nourishing dreams and inspiring the future. The future is bright. Reach for your peak.
Welcome back. It's still the CoreTV News at 7, where you can reach us on the following social media platforms. Facebook, facebook.com/CoreTV News, or our Twitter handle at CoreTV News NG. You can also check our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTV, give a space, and then news. Moving on, the presidency insists that despite losing the March 28 presidential election to Muhammadu Buhari of the All Progressives Congress, President Goodluck Jonathan is still working for Nigerians. The special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Ruben Abati, made the clarification in a message he posted on his Facebook page on Sunday. Abati was reacting to some reports that claimed that the present administration, which winds down on May 29, had abandoned some of its ongoing projects because of Jonathan's election or electoral loss. The presidential spokesman says there was no truth in the report. He said evidence that Jonathan was still working around the site of the second Niger Bridge, which is currently under construction, the outgoing work on the long Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, as well as the Abuja-Kaduna Railways. While thanking Nigerians for allowing Jonathan to serve them, he expressed the hope that the transformation being witnessed under the current administration would continue under Buhari's leadership from May the 29th. He said the president maintained that he remained committed to serve and sacrifice for Nigeria in whatever capacity he finds himself. Abati, who attached a video of ongoing works on the second Niger Bridge, wrote, and I quote, "A short video from the site of the second Niger Bridge, which is currently under construction according to project's schedule," end of quote. The governor of Delta State, Emmanuel Dwaha, has given his take on why the ruling PDP lost at the center and in several states in the federation because of neglect of some members of the party. According to the outgoing Delta State governor, some persons within the party believed that the governors' forum was becoming too powerful, and the then chairman of the party did not help matters as he was acting like a CEO writing queries to governors. The crisis generated by this, as well as the impunity in the party, caused the departure of some of the governors. He said that the PDP was the greater loser in the crisis that rocked the governors' forum as it led to their 2015 election losses. He added that performance was not an issue for the party and they did not lose because they'd failed to perform. Governor Dwaha also blamed the lack of fairness during the party's primaries and as another major factor that led to their losses during the just concluded elections. He also expressed his expectations of the incoming government of Buhari, but advised that the APC-led federal government must apply a style of leadership that would unite all Nigerians irrespective of voting pattern during the 2015 presidential elections. And here in Lagos, Musli Obani Koro, Nigeria's Junior Minister of Foreign Affairs, says Nigeria did not recall its High Commissioner to South Africa over the ongoing xenophobic attacks. Describing the report as a rumor, Obani Koro said the officials were only summoned for consultation. South Africa reacted to the issue in a very critical manner, faulting the administration of President Goodluck Jonathan in several regards. A statement issued by Clayson Monyela, a spokesman of the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, added that the South African government is not sure which actions or behavior of the South African government in the Nigerian government is protesting. In this action based on the incidents of attacks on foreign nationals in some parts of our country, he said it will be curious for a sisterly country to want to exploit such a painful episode for whatever agenda. Now, the recent attacks on foreigners in South Africa has continued to generate reactions from everyone. And apart from condemning the act, former boss of the ICPC, Justice Mustafa Kombi, has accused the South African government of negligence as he calls for compensation for the victims involved. Rashid has more from Ilorin.
The news of the attack on foreigners in South Africa has since been condemned everywhere, with different opinions from government and organizations across the world. For the former boss of an anti-graft agency in Nigeria, ICPC, Mustafa Akambi, the act is not only despicable, but also shocking to know that South Africa can turn around to attack countries which helped her through the apartheid period.
But for a country that had suffered under colonial rule, it's not the right thing to start overnight and ask people to quit and leave, because they also have interest in other countries. For instance, I understand the DSTV here in Nigeria is controlled by South Africa, and if we have to react in the way they did, things will be very bad.
In the face of looting and loss of lives, Akambi calls for compensations from the government of South Africa to the victims affected by the xenophobic attack.
They are able to pay compensation for people who have lost their property. Unfortunately, if a man is killed, you can't revive him, you can't bring him back to life. But I think those who are involved in these activities must be dealt with seriously by the government of South Africa.
While the victims now count their losses after losing much of what they have labored for, labor leaders in Nigeria have urged labor unions in South Africa to help stop the attack.
There's a global condemnation of this particular situation. So I believe that NSC, as they are reaching out to their colleagues, even in South Africa, because these are workers' organizations to themselves, and they need to protect the workers there.
We are enjoined with the rest of Nigerians to say that such an attack is not good on Africans. We are all part of those who fought for the apartheid. We are all those who fought for the independence. And I mean, by the time they start chasing Nigerians away, and we Nigerians here start chasing South Africans in Nigeria away, it's not gonna be the best.
With government and organizations taking active steps, it is hoped that the experience of foreigners in 2008 and what is happening now will be the last to be heard of in South Africa. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ilorin.
The Federal High Court in Abuja has fixed May 19th and 20th for the continuation of hearing in the trial of the alleged mastermind of the 2010 Independence Day bombing, Charles Oka. At the resumed trial of the matter, the defense counsel cross-examined prosecution witness on the wired car and bulletproof vest admitted as exhibits last week. One of them, Samuel Izibiri, also wants the prosecution to provide all necessary documents tendered against the suspect to enable him carry out a proper cross-examination. Trial judge Justice Gabriel Kolawole granted the request and ordered the accused to be remanded in Kuje prison till the next adjournment.
Today, the matter was adjourned for cross-examination of number one witness, and he was duly cross-examined. So the matter has further been adjourned now for us to continue. There have been many days fixed in advance before now. So the court has adjourned to those dates in the future.
The PW1, that is the exhibit keeper, was cross-examined by both counsel to the accused persons.
Are you satisfied with the way proceedings went?
Yes, very, very satisfied.
The court ordered the prosecution to avail us with all materials, all documents that they intend to rely on in their prosecution, and then we'll go through them. If we have objections to them, we'll tell the court and raise the objections before the court, just to fast-track the trial, so that the trial will not be too unnecessarily delayed.
Now, the Ogun State Police Command has alerted the public about the new mode of operation of car snatchers within the state. The alert, contained in a press release signed by the State Police Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi, warned members of the public in the state to be wary of people on motorbikes who ply the major highways in the state, showing care and concern for people in distress while eventually robbing them of their valuables. The release specifically mentioned the highways in question to include, but not limited to, Amu Abeokuta, Lagos, and Shagamu Ijebu Ode Benin expressways. The hoodlums in most cases flag down road users or raise alarm of a punctured tire or damaged portion of their vehicles within the pretense of being caring or showing sympathy, but eventually rob anyone who yields to their fake alarm. The command deems it necessary to caution the good people of Ogun State and those on transit within the state to note and beware of these hoodlums with their new mode of operations. Well, it's still the news at 7. Moving on now to Benue State. Benue State Governor-elect Samuel Otom has appealed to security agencies to redouble their efforts to stop the renewed violence in Agatu and Guba local government areas of the state. This was contained in a statement by the media advisor to Benue State Governor-elect Tahav Agezwa. The statement stated that Otom decried the recent clash between communities in Agatu as well as attacks on several communities in Mbadwem ward of Guma local government area on Saturday. Otom pledged to collaborate with relevant authorities to find a permanent solution to such crisis, which he said were sad, unfortunate, avoidable and reprehensible. He expressed regrets that the renewed violence had further compounded the poverty level in the affected areas and set the clock of development backwards. The governor-elect commiserated with the families of those who lost their loved ones in the areas and prayed that God would comfort them. So at this point, we'll go for another commercial break. When we come back, we'll bring you more stories and, of course, news outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
It is often said that the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. But what about the things in life that actually inspire us to believe? Like the things that drive us, the things that move us, and even the things that remind us that the sky really isn't our limit. Because when we are inspired, we are led to future greatness. But first, we just have to believe.
One day I want to build Nigeria's first aeroplane.
I know. One day, you'll make us proud.
Rich and creamy pig, extra fortified with 28 vitamins and minerals. Here's to 60 years of nourishing dreams and inspiring the future. The future is bright. Reach for your peak.
Welcome back. Now straight to outside Nigeria. Thousands of the police began fleeing the capital, Kathmandu, on Monday, terror-stricken by 2 days of powerful aftershocks and fearing shortages of food and water after an earthquake that killed more than 3,200 people. Roads leading out of the mountain valley city of 1 million were jammed with people, many with babies in their arms, trying to climb onto buses or hitch a ride aboard cars and trucks. Huge queues had formed at Kathmandu airport with people desperate to get a flight out. Overwhelmed authorities were trying to cope with a shortage of drinking water and food, as well as the threat of disease. The sick and wounded were lying out in the open in Kathmandu, unable to find beds in the devastated city's hospitals. Surgeons set up an operation theater inside a tent in the grounds of Kathmandu Medical College. High in the Himalayas, hundreds of climbers were staying put at the Mount Everest base camp, where a huge avalanche after the earthquake killed 17 people in the single worst disaster to hit the world's highest mountain. A total of 3,218 people were confirmed killed in the 7.9 magnitude quake, a police official says on Monday. The worst in Nepal since 1934, when 8,500 people died. More than 6,500 were injured. And that concludes TV News at 7. Of course, still within the reporters. Do not go away. We'll go for a quick break. We'll come back in the next half hour to bring you our stories on the reporter. Thanks for watching. I'm Emmanuel Ezekiel.